All right, so welcome to our meeting here on January 10th, and we're opening with a question about fingerprinting. While people pop in, anyone who's on the call, either in the chat or maybe you can just unmute. Is anyone kind of, I don't want to say figured out how to address fingerprinting, but has any strategies that they have come to decide that are going to be helpful in folks trying to figure out how to address the fingerprinting need for work-based learning and CTE? The silence may speak for itself, but so much silence. Well, that might be a overarching kind of hint that maybe we need to come up with some ideas. But if you are looking at how you're going to do fingerprinting, I'd recommend you start with the after school people and the arts people because they're already having to do that in their spaces. That was my recommendation for the folks who called me in the last week. But if anyone does have something that they're working on, even if it's in draft form, feel free to share with the group because that's the beauty of a community of practice is that we're all building our planes as we fly them, and it's helpful to get those tips from each other. So with that total flop of an opening question, although sometimes knowing the gaps is exactly what we need to know, we are going to go ahead and kick it off. Al, do you have any opening remarks for the crew?
I have no opening remarks. I know what January is like on the comeback on the at the LEA level. You are very busy and hearing a whole bunch of different things about programs and programs of study, courses, pluses, minuses. We're going to offer it next year or not, low numbers, middle school recruitment, all the stuff that's coming at you. So I would just say make sure that this is the time of year that you don't give up easy when you hear about decisions that will affect course offerings next year. This is the time you kind of slow it down and then you offer solutions to your central office decision makers that allow you to keep and even increase programs of study. This is the time where we start hearing reductions. So you are the key people of making sure that more people are coming into the tent versus being escorted out. And so make sure you have pretty good scripts on how to talk to your upper assistant soups and whoever is part of that decision-making. But don't acquiesce easy. There are other solutions that they can come to if you are viewed as an obstacle. Back to you, Jill.
Great words as we go into a year where we will likely see some budget shortfalls and we want to set ourselves up for success and to showcase that CTE does have workforce development funds to support this, the work that we do. So shout out to Ramona. Montesino High School had a great, the Skills USA featured their students on a video and they're all girls team. And so this is kind of a fun shout out here. We also wanted to share.
Their team is not an all girls team, but they competed against an all girls team. And
thank you for that clarification.
No, it was a really heartwarming video. So I thought, oh, if you have a minute, just, you can skip around in it, but it was really well done.
Excellent. And I think that's their alternative school. And so anytime that we see, CTE in our alternative systems really successfully supporting our students is really a key part of that. And I know that's a component of the work that most of you are doing as well, is supporting your alternative schools. Speaking of supporting our schools, there is the RFA for Classroom for the Future Foundation's Innovation Awards is out. It's due on February 9th. We love to see lots of CTE featured in these awards. A lot of times this can be a nice way to fund like a specific program at a specific site. If they want to do something creative, it doesn't have to be CTE. So it could also be, something that's CTE adjacent or, you want to do some middle school STEAM lab that you're looking for alternative ways to fund those, right? This might be enough. It isn't huge because it's like 5,000 to 10,000, which is why it tends to be maybe like a single site project that could really make a specific impact on those students. And so consider applying for that. Um, as we get into our bigger updates, this is still linked here from our last one if you're curious about some federal policy updates. But fun enough, maybe you got the email a second time over the winter break that CTE allocations were yet again adjusted. So I have updated this, which was some other all of your incorrect ones, so that you're like, what was that happening? This is our currently active preliminary allocation that they posted on the 29th, but it's at the 28th on their form. And this should be, I didn't cross-reference, I probably should, with the State Board of Ed agenda that just went out, but it is slated to be approved at the SBE meeting this month, and then you'll be able to, get your GANs and start actually doing the work that was funded for last July 1st as a start date for this fun grant. So that's their round 9A. This should say round 9A, because none of you probably applied for round 9B, but it is out there and eligible for you to apply for. Fun, a Golden State, because you haven't written enough grants this year. Golden State Pathway Program RFA is expected in January. They did just post this profile, projected funding profile. It has some interesting information in it. And I will say I'm not getting enough insight into this, even though I'm the RTAC. And so, but what I do know, I got an email this morning because I said, oh, I'm really excited for the January 22nd release date that you just posted. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't expect it actually maybe on that date. We're still in final approval. So just so FYI, it will come out when it comes out. And as soon as I know anything, you'll know it. So the interesting thing to me that is posted here, this posted December 26th, is the recipient amount is listed it's 200,000 to 500,000. And if you go right here, it says planning grants are 200,000, implementation grants are 500,000. My question then becomes, because they're kind of mirroring this off of potentially a lot of the language they're using aligned to some of the community schools language. Community schools are funded site by site. So I do not know if this is true or not yet, but it starts having me predict the potential. Is this something that we're going to be choosing sites that we want to apply to do Golden State transformational work at? Or is this a district-wide? I do not have the answer to that either, even though I did try to ask that question and I was kind of calmly not answered. So we'll see when we get there, but that's where we are. And the due date right now is listed as the best day of the year, my birthday of March 12th. But luckily, if I have to write any of these, it will be due to my organization like a week and a half earlier. So that day is not really that important, but it is for a lot of us. So as we kind of look at Golden State, again, this is for pathways that are specific for technology, healthcare, education, and climate-related fields. It can also include things around dual enrollment. We're not really sure how it's all going to come together, but in our RFA for the RTAC, there were other pathway development components in there. So we'll see what the RFA looks like. I did give you like a little description here of what implementation and consortium grants are listed as being, so that you can kind of think about what that fit is for you. A $200,000 consortium is not a lot of money. So I'm curious to see if this is how you work with your partners or if this is how we might work together as a region. So we'll see once the RFA drops. All right, dashboard has come out. Some of you joined me for my webinar on the 15th. I've put together a page of all the college career indicator resources, and my recording and the slide deck from that, and then just general resources from the CDE. Here's my resources. Now, if you haven't clicked on the Google Sheet, it's a little crazy. I'm going to pull up my copy so I don't mess up your filters, because you can filter it all. So you can go through and find your own. Select all. Here, I have district data here. I can clear, I was working with a district and they kind of wanted to see who had a little bigger district and who had whatever. So I just used the filters. So this is nice because you can also use the filters to do any kind of filtering, and we're gonna just not filter by condition anymore, hopefully. And so you can kind of go through and see what you are. So if you click on your district name and maybe you want to clear and just see what Carlsbad has going on, you can clear that and you can see all of your different numbers at the district level. You can also clear it so it has your schools as well. And then you can see for each one of your schools what's happening for each one of your student populations. And you can scroll on down and see how they're prepared. So specifically, our favorite might be CTE, and saying, you know, this is how many students are prepared because of CTE. So if this is like, oh, I want more information about that, watch my webinar. It's like an hour long, but it does dig in and give you some resources to help if you're looking to see improvement. Also, if you want me to walk you through, I hung out with the district for an hour yesterday, walked them through their data, answered questions, helped them because they have an upcoming board meeting, just kind of identify some areas of growth and what they might do. If you would like to do that, let me know, and I would be happy to meet with you and your folks about your CCI. I will also be, so our data and assessment team is meeting February 6th. And so hopefully your data people are part of their network already, but they're having me come in and do a chat about the CCI and the additional reports with folks at that meeting. So encourage your assessment folks to attend the data and assessment meeting on February 6th at SDCOE. And then they also get a little bit of Julisms when it comes to the CCI. All right. And then Capital Advisors has some. Margie, I don't know if you want to take over here.
No, just, I think, the governor's budget is released today, I believe, I think I heard. So, and I know I've seen many of your CBOs at these workshops. So if you can attend, thank you, Jewel. You can sign up. I know I'll be there and many of our other SDCOE folks. And yeah, there's not a lot going on. As you can see there, I put some KROP meetings upcoming. One thing, just going back to the fingerprinting, that was a big issue that KROP took on. We got it so that it's just one employee supervising. The student has to be fingerprinted, and we have had several conversations about a toolkit or something that can help the field implement, but it seems like it's district by district. So I'll push that a little bit more and see if there's anyone who has something out there to share that might help those folks that this is something that's new to them, that they're now taking on. But this legislation has been in place for a few years now. So, and then we're going to do our ledge visits in Sacramento in March. Oh, let me back up. February meeting will be here in Sacramento, in San Diego, which we'll be happy to host it at our main campus. And then 18th is the next third quarter meeting, and then our ledge visits in Sacramento that Al and I will be going to. And I will be reaching out to folks to find out what activity or what contact have you had with your ledge, your leadership in your region, just so that we can align with any good news for them to know. As you know, there's nothing right now that they're looking at for funding for CTE. There is the master plan, but that's all encompassing with many state agencies. So I'll reach out to you as it gets closer to that date, and as we have meetings set up. So that's all. Not too much to report on that end. Thanks, Joel.
Yep. Thank you very much. And we kind of have the running through February 1st. The students can apply to be a student board member of our San Diego County Office of Ed, or San Diego Board of Education. So countywide, if you have any students who are in, well, CTE or otherwise, but who have really expressed a lot of leadership, that would be a great opportunity for them. All right. I think Leslie said she could not attend today unless Leslie's on here. She said everything's pretty self-explanatory that she put in here. So, just keeping an eye out. February 1st, it looks like dual enrollment grants are there. So you get to write 2 grants at the same time again. golden pathways and dual enrollment. So much for implementation of grants because all you do is write them. We understand, and I'm sorry. We again had the CTE 9A allocations corrected. 9B is due January 12th for anyone who's applying for that. And then you do have CTE reporting at the end of the month. And the CCCCO, let's see, we've got, K16, because it's CDE, Chancellor's Office, San Diego Regional Consortium, great. So Chancellor's Office, we have K16, sorry, we'll talk about K16 in a minute, they're actually here. K6, round 6, K12, intent to award was sent December 15th. So if you are getting those funds, you have some next steps. I know they've sent out some more things today. Make sure you're scheduling a meeting with Sally and Leslie to discuss adjustments to your budget so that you can you accept that award in Nova, you make your adjustments in the budget, and then they can work towards contracting. Make sure you do also get your CalPass Plus data up. Oh, if you didn't get it up, if you didn't get your CalPass Plus data, take a pause because they're waiting on a new contract with the Chancellor's Office. So that's happening. Regional Consortium, continuing those office hours and community practice for dual enrollment. And you can also see the early college credit data project is there. The options after high school survey will come in February, and we know that's something that we want to push out to every CTE student, ideally. Think about that cool dashboard that comes out about how our students are thinking about options after high school. That is fed by this data source. So I think we had almost 12,000 students respond last year. And so like, let's up those numbers and continue to see more CTE students engaging in the survey. The big question that they had here, and I think, is Donnie gonna say something about this? Go for it.
Hi everyone. And so last week at our COP for K-12 pathway coordinators, this came up. So last year, I believe it was May, end of May, we all came together and we at the county office, and I had to kind of think back in time and remember this because I forgot about it, but we came together and we talked about work-based learning and tracking, and we had discussed different districts presented ways that they're implementing work-based learning and tracking and kind of challenges they're facing or successes that they're having with tracking work-based learning and tracking data for work-based learning. And so we were talking about it last week and wondering if there's an appetite to come together again to talk about how that process is going for each district. And so Leslie just kind of wanted to float it out there. Do we want to meet again around the same time, late May, to talk about where we're at with the whole process, with the systems that you put in place? It could be an opportunity to talk to each other about the systems that we're using and kind of get a temperature for what's working, what's not working. And so she kind of just wanted to just float it out there and see, is that something we want to move forward with, is planning that session again and a time to come together to talk about that. So I don't know if we kind of just want to like thumbs up now, or I feel like it would be a good thing. I know our district presented on using a Google form, but we might be instituting more of a system that we're purchasing. And so from my perspective, it would be good to kind of see what other people are doing and what other districts are doing. And so that's what she wanted me to kind of bring up at this point. So does anybody remember that being there last year and what we talked about? Yeah, so I think we had 3 groups. We had kind of like a homegrown system, and I think that was Grossmont, if I'm not mistaken. And we had an SIS way of tracking work-based learning, and I don't remember who presented on that. And I just presented on how we use Google Forms at this point, but we want to kind of up that a little bit as well. So I'm seeing some thumbs up. So is that a yes? Is that a maybe?
Yeah, I think we should get together. Yes.
I know May can be a crazy time. I don't know why we did it at the end of May last year, but I guess it's just right before the school year ends. So, oh, we
I'll
have a
just put up
poll.
a poll.
Awesome. So I'm going to hit yes and submit.
Great. All right, we have a very strong yes.
Very nice. Okay.
Here, I'm just gonna go ahead and end because I feel like this 90-10% is pretty good. So I think, and then the only two people who said they're neutral, that might be that's not their role. It could be that they have it under control. But if you have it under control, we want you there so you can share with everyone else how that's going. So I think I see folks are talking about doing it maybe by SIS. We've got a couple of comments there. And so let's see how we can best align by SIS. And see where that goes. I also think, so on a similar connected note at SCCA, like I said, we have a new data team who's under our innovation division. And one of their goals is around really creating some data platforms, and I have some funds under Golden Pathways to do that. And so one of the things that I'm gonna maybe try to work on is to see if in the next year or two we could get some MOUs around your CalPads data, and then we might be able to help you run some of these reports as you go, instead of waiting for them all to go to the Department of Ed and wondering what will happen at the end. And so I think work-based learning could be an interesting space, because even if all these work-based learning metrics don't all make it to the CCI, I think they're still important to us. So where do we create systems to capture those? But then how are we actually utilizing that data, even if the state's not using it? These are great questions, because a lot of times, even if the state's not using it for CCI, they're still reporting for all of our CTE grants. So if you are going to maybe have an appetite for that, we are hopefully going to be engaging and seeing how much CalPads data we could get, and then how we can use that to support the work that you all are doing. Awesome. All right. Well, then I think we are, okay. We see maybe a vendor also that could be helpful for work-based learning data. So great. I think this is all good conversations to have, because that's the kind of thing that if they figure it out, it might be worth money. But if many of you are figuring it out without that. So all right. Donnie, did you have anything else?
No, I'll just take that back to Leslie. That's great. And I also met with that group at in Phoenix as well. They looked like a great platform too, Travis.
Thanks.
Yeah, but I'll let Leslie know.
Perfect. All right. Jamie, Christine, K-16 collaborative updates.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do the top, and then I'll let Christine talk about the last two items. So again, thank you for those of you who've submitted your work plans. If any of you have revisions to your plan that are outstanding, and please let us know as soon as possible when those revisions are complete, so that we can move forward with getting your plan approved and getting you on your way to doing your projects. Also, if you are still in progress with CCGI and getting that MOU signed, please don't forget about that. Please keep moving forward and getting your MOU with CCGI signed as soon as possible, because you need to get that MOU signed before you can start the whole data upload and reconciliation, and before you can really get your counselors in there working with the platform. You need to get the data uploaded. So don't forget about that. Please make sure to follow up with CCGI if you haven't, after your MOU is signed, to start work on the data piece. We have a reporting deadline coming up on January 25th. A data reporting request was sent out in December. And then we have a fiscal reporting request, and that's for reimbursements. That's going to be coming out this week. And we've put the link to, Myra did a workshop yesterday, and the link is there to that workshop on reporting in case you missed it. So please check that out. We're also still seeking hosts, LEAs, for our education work experience program for college students. The information session recording link is there, as well as the slide deck from that. You can also find information about it on our website. If a number of you attended, and so if you're still interested and you haven't filled out that application yet, please please do that as soon as possible. At least part 1, and then if you know, and then we need to have part 2 completed by March 7th is the deadline to apply for the work experience to participate as a host LEA in the work experience program. So basically that's like free tutors for your sites. We're going to be paying all of the wages for college students to work at your sites. So it's a really great opportunity to get some extra support for your students. So please check it out. Email me if you have any questions about it, or Christine, one of us, if you have any questions. And then we're planning a in-person event for our COP, our communities of practice, for all of them. We're calling it Beers and Gears because it rhymes, but it's really for all of the communities of practice and engineering, computing, and business. We're going to be hosting it at Miracosta. Miracosta TCI will be hosting. We're going to tour their beer tech facility in addition, and their engineering tech facility. And it's a chance to network. It's going to be March 15th at 3:30. So please share with any teachers or yourself. You are all invited as well. There's a link to RSVP. That was CCJ Leaders Network meeting dates were updated. That's there. That I think I mentioned that last time, but just in case you missed it. And then I will turn it over to Christine to talk about the site visit.
Thanks, Jamie. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to let you know about 2 sort of larger meetings that our grant is participating in. We want everybody to kind of be aware, since many of you are receiving funds and are involved in our grant work. So we have a grant site visit on January 25th and 26th at UCSD Extended Studies location off of Governor. It's very prescriptive. They told us exactly what the schedule needed to look like, who needs to be there. So we've reached out to ask a small group to participate based on their requests of what needs to be covered. So if any of you who have been invited have any questions, we do have some prep meetings, but otherwise, like, don't worry, just keep doing the great work you're doing, and you may be called on in the future if you haven't been this time around. The other thing I wanted to mention is there is a regional convening that is in the works. We got an email in right before the holiday break in December to help inform the career education master plan. So between the K-16 grants and what used to be called the SURF grant, but is now called the California Jobs First, there's a request to convene in various regions throughout the state. There's going to be an info meeting, sort of an overarching info meeting via Zoom on January 24th at 11:30. That you saw that on the website that just got pulled up. For our in-person meeting, we are tentatively going to do it on March 1st at IVC. We are in the process of coordinating details, and if it is at IVC, we will have a bus. We don't anticipate that all of you can join, but we would like a good representation. So we'll send out more information as those details get ironed out, and hopefully you can participate if that's the case. Thanks.
Thank you, Christine. I know that is a really, really rough day because we've got a conference the day before, and then we all leave for Educating for Careers the next day, but and then to drive out to Imperial. I know I'm also doing a counselor PD that day.
It was not any of the dates that we requested. Like, we did not.
No, I know,
We gave them a series of dates, and then they picked none of the ones that we submitted. So yeah.
Hopefully some folks from our region can go out and join and kind of bring back that info.
Yeah,
that's the same day as the Mesa Educator Summit too.
Oh, that's right, the Student Summit as well. Future educators. So it is a whirlwind of things happening.
Sorry, I was talking about the grant site visit, but that's the same weekend before. So.
All right. All right, so thanks so much, K-16. On to work-based learning with Alex.
Thank you, Joel. Happy New Year, everyone. Good to see you all. So a few things that I'm sending out this week or have already sent out for the spring semester. So the first is our ITV team on SDCOE main campus. they, if you may not know this, but they coordinate the live and recorded showings of the academic league. And so they host those competitions in the studio where they have a full professional recording studio and television studio. So this year they want to have a student host for academic league, and so they've just opened the job application. The competitions happen in April, and they're looking for high school students, and they will be compensated at $17 per hour. So this student will host 4 shows, 2 recorded and 2 live, and they will attend 4 rehearsals as well. And these are all the rehearsals, I think, will be in April as well. And so the application is a 1-minute video introducing themselves, and it's due January 31st. I forgot to include that. I'm gonna send this out to the work-based learning mailing list, but I wanted to share it with this group in case you have a student who you know would be an awesome fit. Feel free to email me their contact info, and I'll make sure they get the application information. We
All
also
those
have
broadcasting programs probably have exactly the student that is needed for this. That would be great.
Yes. So also later this month, we have another, you may have seen this in the past, but our partner Smart Hearts with their Don't Miss a Beat program are courting another teacher training for their sudden cardiac arrest prevention resources. So this is a great opportunity for any health sciences pathways, but especially sports medicine. You guys are probably familiar with some of the high profile examples of where this has happened with an NFL player last January. And then LeBron James's son also had experienced sudden cardiac arrest. So it's really cool. The training, it says it's an hour. It's like 45 minutes. It's fascinating. If you have teachers who can't attend the training, they can still access the curriculum. It's free. I included the link here, but it includes videos, worksheets, activities, and teachers can customize it for their class. But it's just a great free resource. So yeah, if you have any teachers who want to join the training, it's a fun 45 minutes. And then last but not least, as was just discussed, we have the Future Educators Summit coming up on Friday, March 1st at Mesa College from 9 to 1:30. And this is for middle school, high school, and community college students. There's no registration yet, but it should be coming out any day now. But I included the link to the flyer for the save the date. And that's all for me. Back to you, Jewel.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So let's hit the whirlwind of professional learning. Obviously, I don't know when the grant is coming out, but as soon as the Golden Pathways grant comes out, I will schedule some opportunities. The thing I am curious about here, in the fall, we do those little mini like 30-minute bites when it comes to grants. But is it better to just do like a deep dive? What do people think when it comes to the smaller section bites of how to address a grant versus doing something that's a little bit bigger? And or would you want to have an in-person session? So would love feedback on that generally. Otherwise, I will kind of stick to my main like small bite virtuals. But if you want to do an in-person, I may end up doing that. We are also supporting Imperial in Orange County, so I might be doing a little bit of roadshow as well. So we'll see how it all goes, but feel free to chat what works best for you. And if it's something different than we normally do, I just want to be able to help with that. But I feel like sometimes when you're not ready to do it, if I've done that little segment, I do see people watching my videos on YouTube. And so that may be the best plan. So let me know if you want something different in that case. And all right. We do have a few things going on in CTE month, but they're kind of just our general cool stuff that happens. We have our middle school CTE engagement symposium, the intro to multi-grant management, the career pathway summit from Classroom of the Future Foundation. And then we do kick off our spring refresh live Excitingly, I'm also working with our regional consortium, oh no, with our K-16 collaborative folks on launching some new communities of practice for our teachers that are more specifically focused on sectors, kind of like the ones that we're overlapping our different communities of practice so that it just looks like one thing, and not trying to pull them in multiple directions. So that hopefully will be launching in February as well. This, what was that?
Can I do a plug for our middle school
Yes,
CTE
please
engagement
do.
symposium? Would love to have a few more call for presentations. The link is there. The event is February 8th. Have a few more new middle schools who we are funding through our K-12 Strong Workforce Program. And so the collective expertise that's out in the field on best promising or innovative practices that you're doing around engaging middle schools in CTE and just really getting that out to the field would be greatly appreciated. And I know our newer sites would as well. So just want to put that out there of please consider that. So yeah, Al, you had your hand raised?
I did. So on this time of the year, we're in January. So this is the game. How many more schools can we get in the tent at the middle school that's going to help populate the high school program, CTE programs of study? I will tell you that at the middle school space right now, East County middle schools have been blowing up. And so be aware that I would love to have other districts present if they have a powerful middle school program so that other middle schools, other district officials can see that there's growth possibilities at the middle school level, because that's key now. It's key to get more ninth graders, more incoming ninth graders selecting CTE courses when the course selection forms go home. This is key in order for us to populate, because we know what happens in 10th grade. So talking from where you guys live right now, the majority of you in this LEA space of how do I grow CTE, 8th graders enrolling in CTE in 9th grade is critical because you get beat up in 10th grade in most programs. And so the 9th grade triangle, the bottom of the triangle has to continue to get bigger. That will give us more sustainability. So this conference is about showing high quality programs at the middle school level. These middle schools are presenting programs that hopefully, by evidence of what I'm seeing in East County, are having students select more CTE at the 9th grade on their course selection sheets. And that's the key. So Margie's conference that's upcoming, I'm going to be sending out very specific targeted emails requesting you identify one of your incoming, one of your 8th grade CTE programs to present to show others how to increase student interest and how to increase teacher interest. Converting a core teacher to teaching an exploratory 8th grade, 7th grade CTE class is key. And I've seen some in South Bay that they're doing 6 periods. The CTE exploratory teacher is so exciting, they're getting 6 periods. So that means 150 plus students year-long in CTE that now are going to talk about to their counselors what they want to do when they go into the Sweetwater Unified School District. So communicate to us your interest to highlight your program. That's why I'm going long-winded on this, because January, we're in the right time frame now to really start to show those administrators at the different schools. And I'll tell you, I've visited a lot of schools, and I'm amazed at how many principals don't quite understand how to start a CTE program at the middle school level. So those school districts that are here today that are not unified, if you're a union school district, it's amazing to me how some of the K-8 administrators don't have an understanding on how to hire if it's the CTE teacher they need, how to get a core teacher credentialed, and then how to benefit from the previous life of many of these core teachers who would qualify for a CTE credential if they so desired, or would be a great exploratory teacher to begin introducing CTE content at the middle school. So if you've had great success at that, we want you to present. And so this is a critical time, and that's why February CTE month is a critical time to increase our middle school CTE awareness campaign. Long-winded, back to you.
And I
And
think
just
it's
real quick, if
go
you have
ahead.
any questions about what your presentation, if it doesn't quite, because I've had a couple of calls, doesn't quite fall into one of the categories. I mean, we have flexibility. It's really about what are some great resources, practices that might be great to share in the field. So just wanted to put that out as well. Thank you.
A lot of the equity challenges we see at the high school level can be addressed in part by making sure that the younger the student is, the more they're aware of the options you have at the high school, that they're not selecting something based on what they see industry reflecting in their own background, but instead that they get excited, introduced to these programs, and then they're more likely to engage in them at the high school level. So as you're diving into all that fun CCI data and you start seeing some disequities many times, supporting the middle school programming is a way to help diversify your high school pathways as well. Speaking of equity, special populations in CTE, that I have over 50 people registered and that room fits 60. And it's going to be a tight fit, but I'm really excited. I have quite a few people from our SELPAs around the region who are going to do a presentation together. I have our homeless and foster youth person who supports all of your liaisons doing presentations. I'll be talking about how they get into data. And so this is something where it will probably go to waitlist by the end of the week. If you are registered, you probably have it on your calendar. If you're not going to be able to make it, let me know so I can open it up. But I'm very excited to see so many people excited about serving our special pops. And similarly, that week, PopCon is here, and PopCon is event hosted by some external groups. Rob Atterbury's involved, some others, and so but SDCOE will knock $150 off of your fees if you decide to attend. So you can check out what's happening with PopCon. You can see they have different strands, and you kind of get on a bus and you get to visit different school sites based on those different strands. And if you do decide to go, those of us in our region, we have a little partial sponsorship form that you can fill out. And so ideally that you're bringing a team and at least one administrator in order to get that off. Al, go for it.
And the only thing I'll add on this one is the emphasis is if you have a school that is looking to do big change and they want to see it under load, they want to be on a school site that actually is doing it. This is the conference for that. It's not, even though there are buses leaving hotels, because there's a lot of out-of-state districts that come to see some of San Diego's transformative schools. If you know that you have a principal, assistant soup, and some key teacher leaders that want to see what a transformative school looks like, and to be able to talk with them and to hear about that change process, we will pay the $150 to reduce your registration fee, because we want you to take that leader and give them that initial, that additional push, because we need to do some major transformation in our schools, and CTE is key in that. And so the more people that actually see it under load by visiting a site, the more people we can bring into the herd, right? And so this is the right conference for that. It's in San Diego, and it's featuring some of our San Diego's transformative schools that do it differently. And that's, if you have a leader that needs to see that, and you know that this is probably, we have a couple of schools that we are really pushing to take a look. They got all of the right roster members. They got the principal that has the cachet and has the teacher backing. They got the department heads. They have the union. They have everything positioned in the right place to make that next step, this is the right conference to go to. So we would definitely be encouraged to see a number of schools sign up with teams to be able to visit, ask questions, and really just kick the tires on what it really feels like when you have transformed your school.
And so the things I'm scrolling are the different topics. So you sign up for a topic to study for those 3 days, and your tours would be aligned to those. So things like dual enrollment, the whole thing will be dual enrollment, or the creative economy, project-based learning, work-based learning. I think a lot of times if you have a principal interested in transformation, secondary site visit, this would be a really good session for you to bring them to. So you can visit these particular schools and hear a lot more about these smaller thematic programs within those schools. This also is a good one if you're looking at golden pathways and really thinking about how, like, can I find a school that I want to transform? What kind of work? Because this is a lot of the type of work that I think golden pathways will be really instrumental in funding. And it looks like there's also an elementary strand. So if you're looking to bridge there, these are some of the things happening at PopCon this year. All right. The other one, I know a few of you, like quite a handful of LEAs have signed up. So we're building some tools around how you manage so many different grants all at once. And so we're going to convene on February 13th. It's only in the morning. We encourage you to bring your fiscal person. It's kind of like the you and the fiscal person. So this is like more of a deep dive of just trying to get all of the different things that you're doing in grants at least in one place, and then thinking about how you are going to meet all of the things you've kind of obligated yourself to, but also as you go into the next grant cycle, going like, wait a minute, did I already apply for that? Maybe, I'm not sure, right? It's so many grants, it's hard to juggle. So hopefully this can help you with that as well. And there is still, we can accommodate quite a few more people if you are interested. It's nice because most people are coming with a team, but you don't have to come with a team. If you're kind of the one person show at your district, come on down. Or if you can't get your fiscal on board with you, hopefully these tools will help them as well. Here's just the full list of upcoming opportunities. I try to keep a running list of what's going on. We do have our equity conference next week, and our education community of practice meeting on January 23rd is up in San Marcos. We're working on that. I know some of the leaders have signed up. It's really a lot for teachers, so we're going to do it the morning where it's program development with some of the leaders there, and then kind of excuse the people who aren't in the classroom, and in the afternoon give those teachers really time to collaborate and work on kind of curriculum outcomes that they're interested in. So that's coming together, and you can see some of the other things that we have talked about here. It's just kind of nice to go like, oh, what's going on? Like Linked Learning has announced their conference in LA in April. And if you are applying for those innovation awards for Classroom for the Future Foundation, just know that the award ceremony will be May 16th. All right. And with about 10 minutes left, open roundtable. Anyone have questions for the group or for us? All right, I don't see any microphones going off. It's the new year, so your questions are still simmering and probably awaiting whatever the Department of Ed has coming. But feel free to let us know if there's anything we can do to support your work as you go into the new year. And, if you have PD with your CTE teachers, or you want to have, you're having some of your administrators come together and you want someone to come in and talk about the college and career indicator, we're all here for you to help support that ongoing growth. And please reach out if you need anything. And otherwise, we actually did finish early, which is its own little magic. Maybe 2024 has some extra time for all of us. At least we'll start off with that today. Woo! And so with that being said, we will see you February 7th in Zoom again, if we don't see you otherwise. So have a wonderful rest of your January, kick off the new year, and we'll see you soon. We'll stick around for cute questions. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Jewel. See you later.
Bye.